All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully the microphone is working. Turn the sound up a bit here. Light on this thing. Yep, lights on. Check, check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? It's not Saturday live wrenching as usual. I guess we're gonna call this getting it in when you can fit it in. Work has gone crazy. Guys walking off the job. Yeah. Putting in overtime to fill in for what other people ain't doing. They hire these, technically your job's a truck driver. They're hiring these guys fresh from over the road trucking, and they don't understand that this is not a sit on your ass and hold a steering wheel job. You've got to get in and out of the truck every, whatever. It's hard work. But anyways, life of a roll-off driver at a steel mill. So, this was done off camera because I wanted to listen to music. This is the original Brake Master shoulder from Kawasaki for his bike, and it just didn't fit. Ain't gonna make it fit. It's close to like a universal one. So we took the factory one, and it was so galled up from sitting that we literally had to beat the damn thing apart with a hammer and a punch. But it works. We beat it apart. We took that one apart. We took the seals from that one. We put the seals in here after we spiraled a little bit of emery paper to clean up the cylinder walls in this. So should do everything we needed to do. And we're going to install it on the bike now, and then we'll be anyway. Still in my work clothes. Yeah, it has been a killer busy week for me, so we're a little behind on wrenching because this should have been done yesterday. Yesterday, I decided to come home and pretty much go to sleep. I needed it. Pardon me while I fight with my stand here. Get you zoomed in. So is what you can see what we're doing. Hey, I got 80 watching. All right. Now, as far as the live chat goes, you guys can chat at me if you want. I'm going to be busy working on this bike, so probably won't be chatting back to you. I might read some of your comments when it's all said and done. But that is about it. Hopefully you can hear me well. Had a viewer sent me a wireless microphone, so the audio of me instructing you what's going on should get better. All right, the universal one. See how this has these threaded bosses? The universal one did not, and the bolts actually wouldn't fit through the holes to even use a nut and bolt. So it was kind of like, just no, we're not using that crap. Let's rebuild the factory Kawasaki one with what we got, and that's what we did. Oh. See, yeah, this way, and the bolts to the frame in that direction. If I remember correctly, were the longer ones or the shorter ones? Go here. I tore this bike apart a little bit ago. I would say it's going to be the longer ones. Yeah. It doesn't need to go that deep into the frame. There's the cotter key in here still. It should be. It is. Okay. I need the pin for it. The pin should be up on the workbench still. Go grab that. Kind of like the difference between what I do and what some other folks do. I'm going to open the door up here too. It's a little stuffy in here. The difference between what I do and what other folks do. You know, watching an instructional video on how to do something is one thing, but you don't see the pitfalls. You don't see the aggravating parts because the guys edit them out. And females, there's chicks that do this. Whereas me doing this live, you can kind of get an idea of just how much of a pain in the ass some of this stuff is. And maybe help you understand why some shops charge what they do to work on your bike. Is that the direction it went? Yeah, that's the direction it went. Okay. That's the threads go. Okay. It's almost like building IKEA furniture. Just going to assemble it loose before we snug everything up. Took this thing apart a couple of weeks ago. And we had to wait on parts to come in to finish it. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, yeah, you got halfway decent view. All right. The initial issue with this bike, it was stolen. The gentleman recovered it, but it was gone for a very long time. We're talking years before he recovered it. And it's fat. And somebody monkeyed with the carburetors, like they tried to rebuild them or something. Not sure. Give you the backstory. Those of you who watch this channel already know. And he took it to a local bike shop, and they more or less told him, you know, it's kind of a lost cause, dude. Just give up. They couldn't get it to run right. I am still actually fighting with that a little bit. I got it up and running. Carburetors are not exactly correct yet. They will be soon. Got them synchronized right, but it's doing one funky thing, and I think I know why it's doing it. I don't think we're going to get into that today. And put this cotter key back in here. 16-hour day on Monday and a 12-hour day yesterday at work. A regular job. Those of you who don't know, I operate a roll-off dumpster truck inside a steel mill for a living. And just some crazy working hours. Today was only like 8.5 hours, so still pretty mentally fresh and not totally exhausted. On top of the 12-hour, some of y'all who know me personally, Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports has gone back to school. She's going to be working in the medical field. Well, she works full-time too. And after work, it's down in Pittsburgh. We live in a suburb, Port View suburb of Pittsburgh. Well, her schooling is down into actual town proper. So I take her down there because people are weird and the bus is weird and there's nowhere to park and it's expensive to park. So after the 12-hour day, I drive her down there to school and drive home and do some stuff around the house and pick her up about 5 hours later. So yeah, Thursday will be a 13, maybe 14-hour work day and the same deal. She has to take the bus there Thursday, unfortunately. I will pick her up after. And we'll snug this all up. easy as she goes, right? We're just basically reassembling this. Okay. Now, I think we're gonna do. Now let's have a look, see at the old washer because I have it. Yeah. Get a rag and wipe this off because it's laying in all kinds of schmutz, and it's not fresh brake fluid in there. There's coolant and everything else in that pan, and we don't want that in there. So. That wiped off good. Sorry if you can't see it. I can either work on the bike or I can entertain you guys. And, clean off there. All right. Absolutely have to have these washers on here. Trust me, it's not going to work out well if you omit this piece. Okay. Nice and snugged up. Really digging this color coded. I've had this for about 3 years now, and I dig a color coded thing. I can just glance down, and it's a little hard to lose your 10 millimeter. You know, that's everybody's most lost socket. It's a little hard to lose it when it's bright purple. That's kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? I dig it. I have a stockpile of 10 millimeter sockets from losing them over the years and buying new ones. And ultimately, every time I go to a flea market in the summer, if I see somebody with random sockets, which the Perryopolis, Pennsylvania flea market, there is a gentleman and his wife that sells nothing but old used tools. If he has 10 millimeters, I tend to buy them. I literally have about 10 millimeter sockets. Yes, it is the most lost socket. I know, you know, we all know. And 10, 12, 8, and 14, and 18 are kind of like your most used on most of these Japanese bikes. So it's mainly what we work on this channel. I'll do some Harley Davidson stuff here pretty soon. Come the end of the season, which in another 2 months, I ride until the beginning of November, or until, honestly, I don't, even when it's cold out, I'll ride a little, but once they bring the salt trucks out, neither one of my Harleys sees any time. They just get put up. So when that happens, there's a few things. We're going to open the primary up on my Evo and inspect the primary chain, possibly replace the chain tensioner if it needs it. And I think we'll do the same thing on my TC powered Ultra Classic Electric Glide. other than that, they're doing pretty well. Other than readjusting the idle mixture on the Super Glide as it's carbureted. I had it set up on a 90-degree hot, humid day. And, well, it's not always 90 degrees hot and humid, is it? It's cooling off a little, so we had to readjust that. Oh, that'll get started, isn't it? That's an interesting way they put that in there. Very difficult position to work with, isn't it? Okay, it's started. Couldn't get a socket on there if you wanted to. See how it's kind of... Let me get you in there a little bit. Yeah, see how it's kind of behind there? And we'll grab some fresh brake fluid. This is the struggle of working around the camera. I can either get in the way and you guys can't see anything, but I can do the job good, or I can try to work outside the camera like this, where all you can see is the tools in my hands. A couple more turns. So I figured before I get to fixing dinner, I'll take a little bit of time and devote it to this gentleman's motorcycle, as I would very much like to have it out of my garage, because I've got another project coming in out of a charity job for a brother to another mother. And it's going to be a daunting process, so I would like to get it started. Interesting little thing here. They've got a little tab over top of the master cylinder reservoir, so you can't take the lid off or it can't come loose. Kind of cool, I suppose. Anyway, give that a little tweak, make sure it's tight. Okay. Gotta fill this devil up. What size do we need for the bleeder? Is it a 10? It's not a 10. No, it'll be an 8. All right, let me grab some fresh fluid, grab my vacuum bleeder, grab an 8mm wrench, and we are going to bleed this master cylinder. Well, that's not the fluid I want. This is. I guess I should grab a funnel too. That'll make life easier. And got an 8. Yep, here's an 8 right here. And you guys hold out back here where you can see what I'm doing a little better. Okay. Where in God's name did I put my vacuum bleeder? That's over here. Should be on that shelf over there. It is not. Pardon me, I need a swig of iced tea here. Oh yeah, that's good. As of now, the engine does run in this machine. Does need tuned a little better. So, I figure if we get the brakes all fixed up, she'll run and ride. It'll just need tuned. To take you off. Let's see, is this guy gonna work? Nope, not quite long enough. How about you? Yeah, you'll work if I'm careful. This machine calls for 3 or 4. One thing with brake fluid, dudes, ladies and gentlemen, be very careful and try not to spill it. Have a rag handy. This crap takes paint off of everything. Like, you know, even on your side cases and stuff, like the nose cone, you know, ignition cover, cam cover, whatever you want to call it on my Evo. The clear coat on it is boogered up from someone spilling brake fluid. So, it's always a good idea. Number one, I got cardboard on the floor. I got a nice concrete floor in here, and I'm trying to keep it that way. But at the same time, alrighty, this is going to suck down some fluid because that master cylinder is completely empty. So vacuum to it. Yeah. Can you see the air coming out? This is kind of a crappy vacuum bleeder. I should get the better one. But you know what? It's worked for me every time I've needed it to work, so. Tighten her up. We already need some fluid. Wonderful. I have definitely gotten my money's worth out of that vacuum bleeder between working on cars and motorcycles. As well as, you know, some bikes like the Honda Goldwings and early Honda Shadows have a hydraulic clutch system, and it needs bled. And some of you who have fooled with it will tell you it's a pain in the ass. And this little vacuum pump sure makes it easy. Still getting some air bubbles. This is something you kind of don't want to be in a hurry with and do it quite a few times. The bleeder is below the reservoir. Okay, we know the reservoir was empty, so fluid has to come down through here and into the cylinder and up and out. But You've got some curvature in this line, and it dips down before it goes up. And those are all areas that'll trap air. Let's see what we got. I feel like we got brakes already. All right, let's go without any vacuum, see what happens. Ah, little spit. Did you hear that? You probably seen the bubbles. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Vacuum bleeder does good sometimes. Do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, I'll let her sit for a couple seconds here. Top off the reservoir one more time. If I would grab the right funnel. I don't do this for a living. I do this as a hobby, and I like to help folks. I don't charge them too much money to do this. Like bike shop charge you $100 an hour. And, well, dude, I got 10 hours into this bike already, so what's that tell you? Not gonna charge somebody $1,000 for the work I've done, but see what we got going on here. Pump it up. You only get, I've used hose clamps, everything else. You get about 10 pounds out of this thing, and that's it. But it's enough to do what you need. Tiny little teeny tiny air bubbles are probably not showing up on camera. But yeah, a little bit of air bubbles. How much more are we gonna go with this guy? Oh, there's a big one right at the top. No crap. All right, he was hiding. He was hiding up in the system. Now, front brakes can be a devil because you're asking the bubble to go out the bottom and the reservoir is up top, but the line is straight down. The way this system works, the reservoir goes into the master cylinder. The master cylinder is kind of below the bleeder. So they're going to want to rise to the top. And the front is the other way around. And there's really no fun way to do it. Honestly, the best thing you can do is run a bleeder hose like this into a container. Crack the bleeder so it drips a little. You know, you're catching a mess. Take the top off the master cylinder, fill it with fluid, and walk away. And then over time, the bubbles will literally work their way up. Close the bleeder, pump the brakes up, open the bleeder. Anyone who's ever bled front brakes on a motorcycle knows exactly what I'm talking about. It can be a devil. Well, me, we're still getting bubbles. So this master cylinder was completely torn apart and new seals put in it. So there was no fluid in it to start with. We're getting there though. Patience is key here. Absolutely, patience is key. You just take your time. I'm going to send this motorcycle down the road here, hopefully, really soon here. And I don't want the gentleman to take it out for a ride and have no brakes, which is why we rebuilt the master cylinder, because it needed it. You can hear the air coming out of there. I think that's about it, though. Okay, one more to be sure. Okay, we're going to call that blood. Rest of the air out of the system. And nice little thing about that, no muss, no fuss, no squirting brake fluid all over your bike. And like I said, it makes quite a mess, and you don't want that because this stuff will take paint right off of. I mean, it's just oil, it's just hydraulic oil essentially, but whatever's in it will take paint right off of things, and we don't want that. Okay, we'll go ahead and top his master cylinder back up. Cap back on the brake fluid so we don't spill it. Cap back on the reservoir. And before we do that, we want this as clean as possible. We'll take a rag to it real quick. Make sure there's no dust, no dirt, nothing in there. Okay. Well, sometimes when you shove this thing in, it'll make a little fluid shoot out on you. So we'll stick a rag there to kind of catch any mess that may arise, but I don't think we're going to have any. Okay. Like I said, a cool little feature. Never seen this on any other bike. Just this little locking tab. It's whatever, something different. I've been fooling with old motorcycles, metric, everything metric, American, couple of European bikes, not much European, but I always say everything from Amarachi to Zundap, A to Z. And this is a first for me, seeing a locking tab like this for the master cylinder reservoir a little bit. It's pretty cool. Dig it. A lot of things about Kawasaki that, as a rule, that I don't like. They're kind of a pain in the ass to work on, but that's pretty cool. All right, now let's take a wrench to the rest of these and make sure we've got them snugged. I know I did, but I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, that one needed a little bit. All right, so we've got good solid rear brakes. And that may be the end of the live for today, possibly. Because I feel like fooling with carburetors this afternoon. I feel like fixing dinner, and maybe after I eat dinner, me and the missus just might take one of the other machines out for a ride. I haven't made a riding video in quite some time, and I was contemplating making one tomorrow. If you go through my list of videos, I have one that says, is Old Goldwing a good daily rider? Well, this has been a daily rider pretty much since the beginning of May. So maybe we'll do is an Ultra Classic a good daily rider video. yeah, I got the tour pack off the back and just a sissy blower mounted tour pack stashed away there with a quick detach. If you ever ridden one of these, you'll know why. They're extremely top heavy. The tour pack is so heavy. I mean, I swear it weighs 80 pounds, and the whole bike is different and just rides better with that off. If I'm going to take a long trip, I pop it back on. We got speakers in the saddlebag, hard bag, whatever lids. And what I think I really want to do, really want to take this guy for a ride. It's my old Evo. This bike makes neighbors hate me. She's loud. She's pissed off. S&S high compression pistons, S&S Super E carburetor, Vance and Hines big shot pipes with no baffles in them, and I do believe it's an EV27 cam, just a mild cam. Man, does this old sucker run strong. It don't take much to make an Evo run good. Just might take it for a ride. I don't ride it to work because I get up for work at 4 and leave at like 4:15, and this bike does not have stock mufflers, but it's not exactly loud. See, I got a battery tender on it. Probably gonna be the last summer for that battery, I think. All right. So let's get some tool cleanup happening here. So the live thing is somewhat new to me here. Like, I generally didn't do lives too much in the past. Honestly, don't like it. I gotta be 100% honest with you. I don't like going live. But I feel that being as a channel that's, you know, it's all about motorcycles, but when I rebooted and did the actual name change from Kevin 6154 to Phoenix Motorsports, this channel became more about working on motorcycles. We did a lot of videos with some old beat up Gold Wings that I acquired that were pretty much dead that I brought back to life and sold. Some Harley Davidson maintenance stuff. And I figured doing this live shows you a couple things. Number one, I'm human. I make mistakes. We all do. And if you say you don't, you're a damn liar. And number two, sometimes doing this is quite a pain in the ass. And well, you just don't see it in a polished, edited video. You don't see how much of a pain in the ass this stuff can be. It's just magically fixed, and the guy looks like a freaking wizard, right? I promise you, your favorite motorcycle mechanic on YouTube is not a freaking wizard. He messes up. He curses and swears because something doesn't go his way. We all do. I'm doing this live, of course. I've got to watch my mouth a little bit, but you'll have that. That is not where those go. Those are metric. They go in this drawer over here. And you see the auxiliary fuel tank and the vacuum gauges are out. That we got the carburetors synchronized on this old bike. But I do believe the fuel and air mixture is off. For some reason, whoever was monkeying with the carburetors had the fuel mixture at idle pretty much closed off on the left-hand carburetor, and the right one was out 2 turns. I have no idea why they did that, and it makes no sense. Now, they can be off a little bit, cylinder to cylinder. You're basically tuning to run by ear, sound, and feel. you know, and one side might be a quarter turn off, but that one side completely closed. So I don't understand that. I got them both out at 2 turns, and one cylinder is just a little bit unhappy. At idle, it'll drop vacuum at idle, and I'm not sure why, but you blip the throttle and it'll run good for another couple minutes and build vacuum, and both carbs are in sync and everything's fine. Not exactly sure what's causing that. Could be valves out of adjustment. When it gets hot, one side's hanging up a little, but you see that wouldn't change when you blip the throttle. Not as dramatic as it is. I haven't done it live. I did this all off camera. So we're still monkeying with that, but it is rideable. Just every now and again, it'll start to idle in a little bit funky, and you got to blip the throttle a couple of times to get it out of it. Not exactly sure what's doing. I haven't torn into it that deep, because honestly, I've kind of done enough with it, and I'm not really charging the dude shit. So he brought me a non-running bike with no brakes. He's getting back a running bike with brakes, one that you can ride. So, that's the name of that tune. This is the beauty of this shop here, is my OGs that have been watching forever will know that I used to do this out of a tiny little 1-car garage with a dirt floor. No heat, no electricity, just an extension cord. And it was a bitch. It sucked. Now I've got a toilet, a place to wash my hands, where to keep cold drinks, and we keep some extra food in the freezer down here. So when I stock up on stuff for the kitchen upstairs at the house, this isn't like a regular bike shop, dude. This is my garage in my backyard. All right, so I guess I should respond to the live chat. Let's see what's shaking there. I've got a YZ that would start with the first kick. Now it'll only bump start. The Kickstarter feels a lot looser, to be honest. Ah, dude. There's like a ratcheting pawl in there that could be goofing up. Honestly, I'd have to feel it. Yeah, that could be wearing out, the little pawl inside the ratcheting pawl. And Trail 200, hey, what's up? 70 ends, huh? But yeah, this is the shop. And this is where I do my thing. Pretty cool view. The City McKeesport down there. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I can. It's down across the river. And my neighbors, they got a little bit of a decent yard to mow, and I should be doing that today. I hate mowing this side here because it's this much of an angle and it sucks. And there's a little bit of yard behind it. I should be mowing my grass, but I've worked so much in the last couple of days that I don't much care. All right. Shoot, I don't have my watch on. I took it off before I come down here. I don't even know what time it is. All right, y'all. Thinking. Oh, I've been live 45 minutes. All right, that's about right. I'm doing a lazy man dinner tonight. What do we got? We're doing stuffed shells, because I don't feel like cooking. So, I think I'm going to move the electric glide up front. Actually, no. You know what? I'll do that later because I got to come down and get my helmet. Anyway, I don't like to, when I take this bike to work, I don't like to start it in here because it funnels the noise directly into them houses. And yeah, and plus it takes longer. I like to park it right out in front of my house the night before. That way I can come out the door with my helmet on, fire the bike up, and get down the road. So I'll move that up later. But I suppose that's the end of the live. That's as far as we're going on the Kawasaki. Show you guys how to synchronize carburetors on a live if that's something folks would be interested in. Also, if you want to look up the Phoenix Motorsports Inner Circle group on Facebook, if you're cool, we'll let you in. If you're a dick, you get booted. I don't deal with trolls. I don't got time for you. Live your life. I'm living mine. Post up a lot of stuff about what I'm doing here in the garage and answer questions. Those of you who know me, you know, Kevin6154. I got a Facebook, Kevin6154 Baumgartner. I don't respond to that much, but Kevin Baumgartner, I do respond to that one. Same avatar as this. So if you have questions on working on bikes, hit me up. Other than that, I'm going to end this live. I'm going to go throw frozen dinner in the oven because I'm lazy today. And thank you so much for watching, man. Do me a favor. Treat that like and subscribe button like it owes you money and smash it for me, will you? Later, folks.